Do we need to do a roll call?
Yes,
Okay, is that going to be you, Annie?
sure. Okay, so we have Steve Durkee,
Here.
Richard Gussenberg,
Here.
Don Nido,
Here.
and Richard Clavette.
I'm here.
And I have Mr. Massiana is coming in right now. Hi, Vin.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, Ben.
Ben?
Hey, Ben.
Hello. Hi, Steve.
Okay, the meeting's come to order. We have any comments from the public?
Not that I'm aware of. no.
We have no comments that we're aware of. Any comments from the Town of Cheshire Energy Commission?
No comments submitted, sir.
All right. Just want to make sure we got everybody covered here. Okay, the purpose of this meeting is to ultimately, as a subcommittee, to select the design professional for the HVAC improvements at Cheshire High School. As a subcommittee, we elected to go for an RFP for design professional that focused on increasing ventilation versus controls at Cheshire High School. Ultimately, with the addition of the HVAC systems that we have in mind, by default, we will also include modernization of at least some control parameters to the HVAC. So we had three bid submittals, one from BL companies, one from Silver and Petroselli, and one from CES, which is a consulting engineering firm. The low bid is CES. Hopefully everyone has had time to review those proposals. So before we make a motion, I'd like to hear some of your thoughts and comments.
Can I make a comment first, Mr. Clavette?
Sure.
So this is an RFP, just so everybody's aware. You don't necessarily have to take the lowest number.
Correct.
You can take whoever is the best fit for the town in this case.
Okay. Did I misstate that?
Yeah, well, you just mentioned they were the lowest, but I just wanted to be sure. You can choose
Understood.
anybody you like. That's the
Okay.
essentially.
So ultimately, the proposals came out, everyone got the numbers. So CES, had the low number, but ultimately, as George stipulated, we can choose who we want. So with that,
Was it CES that did the generator hookups for us? Was that the same company? Out of Hamden? They're out of Hamden?
No. CES is out of Middletown. I think you were thinking of, they're not open anymore. They went out of business.
Oh, no kidding.
The place in Middletown. You're talking about the ones that did the generator install
Yeah.
and the cam lock.
I
Yeah.
don't know what CES is.
Rich, if we're doing this design work at this point, are we hoping to do this work this summer? Or are we looking at?
No.
Right, so should we be granting a contract administration at this point, or construction administration? Or should we just be looking at the first two phases?
I think for the sake of expediency, we could assign all three phases. I would imagine if this is deferred to it is going to be deferred to 2022, we'll have to negotiate the CA portion of it. Or negotiate that they'll honor that number for next year. But we haven't done that as of this moment.
Yeah, but if construction administration is off to the side, then the lower price isn't CES. So that's
Well, right, but we'll have to negotiate with whoever we select as a design professional going forward. We're not going to do the CA with a different design firm.
right. Which companies have we worked with in the past? I know Silver Petroselli we have.
BL2.
Yeah,
CES.
and I've worked with CES myself, so they're all good. I mean, they can all do the job. There's no doubt about it.
I'm always liking to allow other people to come in, see how they do. CES, I have not heard of them, but you think they're good, but they're low bid. Haven't heard anything bad about them. Anybody heard anything bad about them? Or bad? I'm looking, just doing
Yeah, I
research.
mean, I haven't heard, I mean, I called a couple references on CES, and that was quite a while ago, and I can't remember who it was I called, but
They were established in 2000.
they're not gonna put a bad reference on their RFP.
No,
But
but
I mean, they do have quite a bit of K through 12, experience with most of the schools within the state of Connecticut. So, I mean, they're all, I mean, I'd say they're equally capable. I mean, not one stands out more than the other than cost. I think CES is probably a little bit of a smaller firm. So I don't know.
I like smaller firms.
Yeah, I think if that
It's a
might
small job.
present some benefit, or it could also cause issues if, if their backlog is heavy. But
We got a lot of time on this.
this shouldn't be a complicated HVAC design, I would hope.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying, let's try them out. You've used them before, you have no problems with them. Let's give them a shot. And they're a little bit, don't have to worry about negotiation.
Rich, you got anything want to add to that?
No, I'm fine.
How about you, Mr. Naito? What's your 2 cents? Is he
Who's
dead?
done?
He's on mute.
I'm on mute. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
The only thing I was going to suggest was
Hey, there's no
same
snow.
thing I think somebody else brought up. You can hear me?
Yep. we can
Okay.
hear you.
If we're going to put this thing off for a year, as long as the bid is, acceptable, to wait for the year. And I'm just thinking too, in our favor, and I'm not sure if this ever happens or not, but if the prices could go down in a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're looking at, I mean, across the construction spectrum, if anybody's bought lumber at Home Depot or Lowe's lately,
Yeah.
pricing is through the roof, and that's not just on lumber. It's across the board for all materials and all equipment. In addition to that, lead times are through the roof. So yeah,
Nice to get the design work done.
there's
as
some
soon as we
potential
can.
benefit to defer it for a year as far as actual construction cost savings.
And then we go out.
I've
to
heard
bid.
the reverse of that. I've got 3 rooftop units on order right now for Newington.
Yep.
And our rep has basically told us that you want to move this pretty fast because the price will go up. He says, we're pretty sure it will not go down. So, but that's interesting to him to say that. And I've heard that from somebody else as well. Lumber is a whole different world that could go up and down because that whole industry is kind of weird. But equipment wise, he's basically saying that buy them now, don't buy them later. So if we can get something designed and locked in, I think we should. So, I mean, again,
Well, in order for us to do that, and I mean, we're going off track here a little bit, but I mean, I've done that in previous experience is, have the project designed, procure the equipment up front, so you have it and you're not at least captive to price and lead time. And then when the construction period arrives, the equipment's ready to go, and then you just defer the equipment PO to the general contractor. Unfortunately, we don't have a mechanism that allows us to do that in town. But I mean, I would suggest that in the future, especially on a large equipment procurement, that might be something we would want to entertain.
we do that a lot.
Yeah,
In
it's
Newington, and
example.
it saves us overhead and profit. It basically, you still get the same warranties. The owner buys it, which is the Newington Public Schools. It has worked very well with us. We use it a lot when we have that 30,000 limit. I don't know if you guys probably have a maximum without bid kind of a limit.
So they were allowed to pre-order the equipment?
We're doing it through we're buying it for basically one of the units is $30,000 or under $30,000. So we're buying it under that 30,000. And it's a replacement kind of thing.
The school is purchasing it outright?
Right. Yeah.
That's
So
the right thing.
We've been saving a lot of money with that. We just bid the work.
Yeah. I agree. No, I mean, private businesses have been doing that for quite some time now. So
We also bid the equipment too. We're bidding the equipment.
I would probably side with Don, that, we would see some pricing relief, a year from now, I would hope. But yeah, it's there's a level of risk, I suppose.
So we're talking about all this work being done, have to be done during summer break or not?
Absolutely.
What
yeah.
about the control part?
Well, it's one is going to work in hand with the other, because this system is going to have to be, it's all falls under the control. The controls are going to be included with anything new that we install.
Right.
The other control part, we're not there yet. We're not
moving forward.
But we may have opportunity to look at that and execute it for summer 22 for sure.
So right now it's just the classrooms
Correct.
HVAC work. Okay, all right.
Correct.
You want a motion?
Sure.
All right. I move that we move ahead with CES Consulting Engineering Services for the design work on the HVAC for Cheshire High.
Second that.
Second by Steve. Motion by Rich Gusenberg, seconded by Steve Durkee. Any discussion?
Can you add the amount that you'd like to award it for? You'd
Oh,
recommend
in the
it?
amount of 29,500.
No discussion. Here, no one for discussion. All in favor of this motion?
Aye.
Say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Looks like we have a unanimous decision. We'll forward this to the full Public Building Commission for approval. And is there anything else that we need to discuss?
So Rich, on the second phase, we're gonna bid that work later.
Yeah, we need to do some preliminary investigation. Ultimately, we need to see what the impact of cost is. Hopefully CS will be able to give us at least a budget estimate.
Okay.
And
Is
then
that
we'll
part of
have
the project.
what we have left for money in the till to do any further, DDC improvements.
And is there any, maybe George can answer this. We're over budget with that second phase. Is there anything in the future budgets to compensate for trying to get that part done?
There's all kinds of, before George answers, I can tell you from the Board of Ed side, we have a lot of line items that deal with modernization of our HVAC systems district-wide. So there will be monies forthcoming.
Okay.
I agree with Rich.
This is being recorded, right?
Yes.
It is.
Okay, got it on tape.
You want that bold letters. I agree with Rick.
All right, if there's
At all
nothing,
times.
if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, very good. I thank you for your time, Jen.